Alright, so grab my sheet metal, cut me a little chunk, definitely way bigger than what I needed. Use my little homemade brake here, but turns out that thing doesn't work that well. Nice and crisp at the ends to about right here on both sides, but the center, yeah, it's not there. So we're gonna have to fine tune this. I'm gonna have to hammer it out. I'm probably gonna use some scrap angle iron, C-clamp it together, and use that. Let's get this thing out of the way. Alright. I think now the next step is we're going to cut some of that sheet metal off. Actually not at a 90 degree, a little bit more. So I bent it just a touch more. All right, guys, so now we're working on this window channel here, and I'm going to show you guys what I got working with, what I'm working with. I started working on this piece here. The shape isn't all the way there, but as you can see, I got to do a little bit more stretching in that area right over there. Now, as you can see, I got some stuff sitting in here, and the reason behind all that is you see that gap, right? I got to close that gap. Now, unfortunately, because I cut this section out, when I go to clamp that down, the roof structure does not have the strength in it. And let me see if I can show you guys what I mean. Not sure if you can see that on camera, but see how the roof is kind of coming up. If you're paying attention in that area, right? Look at the gap there now. So now I'll bring that down, right? And it only brings it down to about right here. Now when I put the final one on, you pay attention to that area around there. Not sure if you guys can see that on the camera. There it is. Right there. See how it comes up? Creates a peak in the roof line. Ever so slightly. Now, if this piece of channel was still in there and I clamped it down, the roof would have its structure and the brace would actually come up. This roof wouldn't move at all. Maybe some, but it'd move evenly. You see here, I can flex that down easily. Right here, this piece from end to end moves together. So the whole purpose behind this is simple. It's just to push the bracing up till it meets the lip. And that's going to allow me to get the right angles I need to make on here to make sure it's the perfect shape going across. And when I weld it, I'm going to have to weld the top edge first across the roof line to establish my structure. Then I'll weld it to the actual brace itself. Now, as I'm looking at this, I was initially going to leave this little piece there because that is in decent shape. Look close. I missed this edge here. You see how it's got a little pitting. But technically from here over, it's fine. But I mean, that's like 2 inches more of work. And there's some rusting right here where the factory staple was for the vinyl top. Now, this is going to be a vinyl top car. At least I'm thinking I'm going to keep it that way. So I don't have to be so critical. So maybe that little high spot, you wouldn't notice it if I would have left it. But I like to do things right. So it doesn't hurt to take a couple extra steps to get it done the right way. So we're going to push that brace up. We're going to make the lip, weld across the top edge first. Then we'll attach it to the brace at the bottom. All right, so here's the first piece I made up. Well, third piece. I actually screwed up twice. But after practicing a couple times, I got it fitting pretty good. It's a little funny there, but I think I can tap that in with the hammer. No problem. Now again, I got no pressure on this roof skin, so it should have the factory contours in it. I also have my upper molding. Go around. Show you guys here. It's my mess of a workstation, but these are my first 2 attempts. Nothing wrong, except I overstretched them in a couple spots. And then when I tried to shrink it to correct the issue, it wouldn't go back into the shape. It kind of retained like a hump, in the crease. So did that twice, but this time I took a little bit more time. I did small increments. Now, my next step, I'm gonna have to keep shaving this edge down, clean a little bit of the roof up. I don't want to come all the way up. I want to stay a little bit down so my weld can be off. Excuse me, so my weld can be off of this crease. Again, this is a vinyl top car, and I'm thinking of retaining it as a vinyl top car. So I don't have to be as critical because obviously it won't be glossy. But if there is the chance that I change my mind and I want to eliminate the vinyl top, I still want to make sure that this is good enough to where I can paint it and have a nice, seamless, good looking finish. Anyways, I got to start trimming this down and getting it to fit right to do a good butt weld. So let's get that done and I'll be back. Well, guys, it's the next day. I may have had a couple cold ones last night, got carried away, and I just started working. So as you see here, I got the half already tacked along the roof line and it's screwed in, and I got started on the other side. I'll make sure to get some footage of that. Now, I currently just came in the garage now. It's a whopping 30 degrees. See there on my little thermometer. She's about 30. I got the torpedo fired up. I used that to get the garage heated up quick. I got the wood burner going. That thing helps maintain the heat in the garage. I actually keep it about 50, 60 in here with just that stove alone. I could do it without the torpedo, but it's going to take a while for the takes a while for the temp to get up. As you see my breath in here, so I'll let it warm up real quick before I start working. But I cut my piece of metal last night. I got to bend this, bend it, and we got to start doing the same deal. Get the contour set up, and we'll get our tacked in place. Once that's done, I'm gonna come back over here and I'm gonna cut this out. I decided to just go all the way, like I showed you earlier. A little bit rusty, so I'll feel comfortable cutting it up to here, but it's another couple inches, right? I don't know. I gotta address this corner here because there's some rust due to one of the staples that held the vinyl top in place. So since I'm starting with the lower contour, that we're gonna stretch its upper half. Going with light pressure. Stop there. I'm going to take a look at what it is. All right, so it's starting to take its shape. Pretty much here is good. You have to start getting this curve coming down. Going at it, you guys can pretty much see the process. So I have a cheap 19 millimeter socket. It fits that contour really nice. So I'm going to use this to bend the edge. I'm going to use this to bend the edge of my channel. We'll take that. We'll check it on the car. See how it looks. It was bent a little too much. You can see there. That contour is now fitting like a glove. Now we just got to make sure that it fits the car the same way. Appears to be fitting the car good, but we got to do some more shaping. Match the contours. We need more curve in this area. As you can see, we're getting really close with it. I got to add a little bit more curve to that area there. I got a wave here. I got to hammer and dolly that out. That's no big deal, but we're getting there. She fits good across that bottom edge. All right, updates. I got updates. As you can see, pretty much pre-made. I didn't put that piece of metal in there yet. I'm going to take measurements and see if I really need to. I made a line to get my guide to start trimming it down. I do have one little spot that I'm not happy with, and that's from here to here in between my fingers. I have maybe a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch gap. And the reason is, in this area right here, I overstretched a little bit. Now, you see that line there? I do not want to start from scratch and remake this again. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make a splice cut in there. And what that's going to allow me to do is bend this backside down so I can push this where it's nice and flush. And then I'll just weld them back together. So I made my little relief cut. And it did exactly what I wanted to. Nice, consistent, all the way across the roof edge. So now, I'll start trimming this into place. Bottom edge, because the inner roof brace sticks out so far, it actually sticks past this, even though this is way fatter than the original lip. I'm probably just going to weld that all up, and at the end of the day, I'll then take a grinder and I'd walk the whole edge and just even it out. All right, so now we're getting that final fit in. Now I still got to manipulate that side in place, but the first thing I want to do here is I'm lining up my corner, my crease right there. And I got it right where I want. I'm going to put a tack right there to hold that nice and even. Then this top edge, I'm going to tap it in with a hammer flush. And then I'm going to screw there. I'm going to double check a measurement from the bottom flange to the top edge of this roof line. Make sure it matches and it's consistent throughout. It's 3/4 of an inch from the factory edge all the way across. All right, guys. Well, for some odd reason, the camera stopped recording. I'm not sure why, but I got this all tacked into place. And I went ahead and I ground all my tacks flush because I can't stress this enough. When you're doing something like this, you always want to take your reveal molding. You want to constantly keep checking. It's hard to do this with holding the phone, but you pretty much get the idea of what I'm trying to say here. Because last thing you want to do is burn this in all the way across just to find out that now your trim doesn't fit right anymore. And then you're just going to open up a big can of worms. So just take your time. It definitely adds a lot more time, especially having to dress all these welds on the edge real quick just to test fit that, but it's going to be worth it in the end. So trust me, I have tested it out. I checked it and we're good. She fits good. Check it out. I threw the windshield in and I taped up the reveal molding just so we can get an idea. The line is good all the way across. Now I did finish that corner as I said I was. Made the piece. It's tacked in place down there. I did get a little aggressive here with my belt sander, so I got to fix that. Fix the radius. You kind of see in there the edge of the piece. I got it out matching more of the reveal molding, and then I'm going to fill it with weld and shape it. But right now the windshield's sitting too far down, and it's also the bottom is too far down, which is causing the top to kick up. But as you can see, it does look good all the way across. Mind you, there's no clips and it's taped in place, but with the clips in there, we got a good nice fit. So now I'm happy with all this. We're going to tear it back apart and do the final welding. Well, now we're fully welded. Did my spot welds all the way across. Stitched it. So far, it feels good. I got a small little warp area right here. And then there's another one probably about right there if I remember right. Not too bad. But now I got to get ready to dress these welds for the next hour. I'll check this stitch. You know, if I find any pinholes in it, I'll touch it up. But we're close. We're done. Pretty much done. There it is. This is the finished product. Now, well, not 100%. I got to take care of these corners with a carbide burr. But other than that, whole lip is done. I ground all these spot welds flat just so it's a nice surface for the windshield to set on. Evened out the lip all the way across. I fixed this just like I said I was. Fits in there nice. Gotta do the same in here. Carbide burr. Now I gotta order all the pins to go in, but I'm not gonna install those just yet. I'm gonna actually get all the metal work done and get the paint stripped, get a good coat of epoxy on here. Then I'm gonna come back. All right, everybody, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this. Lip is done. Well, all I gotta do is I gotta get the carbide burr and just wrap it up on both corners. But other than that, I'm done with it. I do still need to put the side supports on. Gotta repair those, and I'm gonna weld those on. But I can't really do that yet because of that damage that I got in this area here. It welds to it, so I actually gotta cut that out. That's gonna be the next project. We're gonna cut that metal out, and we're gonna reshape it, patch it, and then weld it back in. Same thing under here, because we gotta do in and out. Then we'll put the side supports on. But as always, thanks you guys for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Appreciate all you.